Hey everyone, my name's Tara and welcome to 3-Minute Science for Everyone. Have you ever wondered why the water at some beaches is crystal clear, while at others it's murkier and less appealing? Or why tropical beaches have this brilliant blue or turquoise colour? Last year, I was lucky enough to travel to Samoa, which is an island nation in the South Pacific that makes up part of Polynesia with other islands such as Hawaii and New Zealand. Among many other things, it's known for its beautiful tropical beaches. And while I was there, I was wondering what makes the water so much more blue and clear than the beaches of my hometown in Sydney, Australia. Now, don't get me wrong, we do have some beautiful beaches in Sydney, but they just don't quite compare. So I did some digging, and I found that there are quite a few different factors that are involved. But first, we need to bear in mind that water is clear. If you were to go down to the beach and cup some water into your hand, it would be clear, just like if you were to get water out of the tap from home. Water appears blue because it scatters blue light, which has a short wavelength, while it absorbs other wavelengths of light, such as red light. So keeping that in mind, why different water colour and clarity? Firstly, location matters. There is this phenomenon called upwelling, where dense, cooler and darker water is driven towards the ocean surface to replace warmer and lighter waters. And this is due to winds and ocean currents. One cause of upwelling is the movement of the Earth. As it spins, oceans move from east to west in the northern hemisphere and west to east in the southern hemisphere. This means oceans on the west coast of North America, for example, are more likely to be murkier and darker than those on the east coast. Take, for example, Santa Monica in Los Angeles on the west coast versus Miami Beach in Florida on the east coast. Secondly, any coral reefs or rocks offshore will help to produce clearer water, because they prevent waves from reaching the shore, which mix up the sand and the sediment from the bottom and make the water appear murkier. Thirdly, temperature matters. Warmer waters of tropical beaches, such as those in the Caribbean and the Pacific Islands, are more sterile, meaning they have less microscopic life, than the more temperate or colder waters of, say, South Australia and northern Canada. And this leads me into my next point. Microscopic life affects water clarity. It might seem counterintuitive, but murkier waters are typically a sign of nutrient-rich waters. And this tiny plant and animal life can affect ocean clarity and colour. For example, phytoplankton, which produces the bulk of the world's oxygen, can give the ocean a greenish tint. Number 5, it may seem a bit more obvious, but water depth also plays a role in colour, where in deeper water, less light can escape and so it appears darker. And finally, what's at the seabed matters. For example, white or lighter coloured sand will reflect light better than darker coloured sand, making the water appear lighter in colour. We also need to consider sediment weight, where sand, which is quite lightweight, is much more likely to get picked up by waves and water movement and make the water appear murkier than something heavier such as shells or coral. And that's it. Basically, the 2 key points that will affect water clarity and colour are your location or where you are and what's in the water. Hopefully you learnt something or at least enjoyed listening to my accent. Either way, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. And thanks for watching. See ya.